What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to 24. It's first live show of the new year. It's actually the first video I recorded in this new year. So happy new year to everyone. Hope everything is well. Hope everything will be well in 24, especially in personal life, but also for the club, obviously, because that's why we all are here on this channel. And 23 ended well, good enough. Probably better than a lot of people could have imagined, especially going or like considering how it ended, last season basically, and it ended in a very crazy manner with points deduction and whatever. Like you know the gist. We all discussed it on the channel, and it wasn't a good end to the season. But the year ended well enough, better than everybody could have imagined, like I said, and that's what we need to pick up now. We play not tomorrow, Thursday, in the Coppa Italia against Sanitana, which is important for us. Coppa Italia, Allegri hasn't won a trophy since he came back to the club. He needs to win trophies. Like every coach that comes into this club at Juve has the obligation to win titles. Even Sadi won it, Pirlo won the title, like won a trophy. So Allegri cannot shy away from that, and that's tomorrow, Coppa Italia. Thursday. I keep messing it up. Thursday, and funny enough, we play Sanitana, and then we play them again 2 days after, away from home in Serie A. So it's a big week. It ended well, 23. But you need to pick it up again and go again in 24. Like, we have done absolutely nothing at this point. We have not won anything. We are on pace to potentially win something, but now it's money time. Now comes a part of the season where every single moment really counts. Every single decision and you name it really matters, and it starts with January. The transfer window is open, and we know that we are potentially looking at players. It's not a given at this moment in time. If you read the news, if you read today's news especially, I usually wake up in the morning. Not today, I slept in, but usually I wake up in the morning and then I scroll through the newspapers. Not all of them, depends on the day. Depends on if it's a filled news, like a filled news day, then I will scroll through all of them. Otherwise I don't. But today I did scroll through them all, and they all had different things to say, very confusing things to say. Would kind of suggest that they don't really actually have a clue what the club is thinking or potentially wants to do in January, because it's all over the place. And we need to see how things will unfold. But we will talk about transfers. If you want to call in, you can do that by scanning the code or click the link that's in the chat now. It's free, by the way. You don't need to put on your camera, because that's what people do not want to do. So don't worry, you can switch off your camera. I can bring you onto the show and you can have your say. So you can do that. But transfers, the news day, and Sport, Gazzetta dello Sport, La Stampa as well, they all started off the day with the club is not really making any signings. That was the big report they all had in their newspaper, all of them. That's what they had. But then if you scroll through the newspaper, they talked about transfers, which was weird. But the big news story was that Yildiz is going to be the classic new signing. Like we heard that with Ramsey when he was recovering from injury, Khedira when he came back from injury, and I'm probably blanking out a few where players that have been injured or actually in the past were not good enough, but now they're back in the picture, are being portrayed as, oh, they're a new signing. What will happen in the summer. Fagioli is like a new signing, and he's not a new signing. But in this case, it's Yildiz, and they were suggesting, or every media outlet is suggesting, every media outlet is kind of suggesting that playing Yildiz alongside Chiesa and Vlahovic is the new signing of the season, basically, or of January, which is potentially an interesting thing. But if you deep it, Um, to keep it simple, we play a 3-5-2, and you cannot fit those three players into it. So that means if you want to shoehorn Yildiz with Chiesa and Vlahovic in starting lineup, Allegri is going to need to make changes. He's going to need to make changes in his formation, and it's going to shake up a lot of things because we've been working on this 3-5-2, like this type of 3-5-2, like the way we're set up defensively and all those things since the Sassuolo game. Then it became okay. This is the blueprint, and now, if you need to believe the media, Allegri needs to switch it up completely and switch to a back four. Now, he did that in training sessions. I think everybody can recall, I think it was a month and a half ago, maybe a month or so. It was an open training session, and all the reports coming out saying they're playing a back four, and there were also reports after that, back four has been tested out in training. But that was before Yildiz kind of showed what he can do. And who knows how that back four looked like? Who knows what the remainder of the that could be a back four with a 4-4-2 with Kostic and McKennie on the wing. Who knows for that? For that matter, we don't know. So it's all good that we tested a back four, but we don't know what the rest of the remainder of the setup look like. So the Yildiz one, it changes everything completely. Like it changes the balance of the team. Like you're not gonna be as, how do you say that? As defensively set up. On top of that, Chiesa and Yildiz are gonna need to work extremely hard every single game. They need to do that just to keep the balance into the squad, because we don't have the mindset nor the qualities to, how do you want to say that, not do that. If you look at Klopp's first Liverpool side, when you have Mane and Firmino in that team, if you look at for Firmino's work rate and even Mane's, but I'm picking out Firmino because that was more evident. He wasn't the guy that was getting all the goals, but his work rate was through the roof. It was incredible, and it was needed to play that style that they were trying to play. That's what you're gonna need to get from Yildiz and Chiesa, Vlahovic as well, but especially those two. Now, after the game against Roma, a lot of people were saying, he plays better, Vlahovic plays better with Yildiz, and that's only normal. Like I've said it so many times on this channel, and people started shouting and hating and whatever. Chiesa is playing out of position. I don't care that he can be found on the left at times. I don't care that he scored 6 goals. He's playing out of position. It's not his natural position, and it's not helping Vlahovic one bit. It's as simple as that. Yildiz, is he a second striker? More than Chiesa. Naturally, no, but he is more like he suits it better than Chiesa, because Yildiz is extremely young still. Chiesa has done one thing for a very long period of time, and he was so good at it, and now as a coach, you're asking him to change that completely, and it's not really working. Like he's not that effective. Like we need to be honest with that. Despite the goals that Chiesa has been scoring or has scored this season, if you look at August, I think August was the first game, right? Until now, January, you cannot say that he's having a very good season. Like you cannot say that, okay, he is playing as he should be. Okay, he's not playing up to the level I think we all are expecting from Chiesa, and that has something to do with himself, 100%. But I think most of the time, the big issue is he's not playing in his position, and it doesn't work with Vlahovic. The first game looked kind of okay because we scored really quickly, but if you look at the connection, and I think everybody just thought it was going to be something natural. Chiesa, Vlahovic, good friends, Fiorentina. It doesn't work like that. I think this, 4 or 5 months have shown that it's not really working. Between Chiesa and Vlahovic up there, and the only way to break that up is, well, you're going to bench Chiesa because even Chiesa and Milik, it doesn't work. Like there's one issue, and that doesn't mean Chiesa's a bad player or whatever. So you can sort that out by playing Yildiz and bench Chiesa, which is not going to happen for obvious reasons, or you change your setup. I think we're not going to change our setup. I think we're just going to play 3-5-2, and Yildiz is going to get more game time, and Chiesa is going to get more bench time as well. I think that's what's just going to happen. And is it a new signing if we play with a 3-5-2? Not really. It's more of a backup signing. It's not going to change the way we approach game. Now, if he changes formation, then yes, you can consider it, quote unquote, as a new signing, because you play a different type of football. You're gonna play a different type of football. Other than that, it's obviously not a new signing. Like, we need something in this team. Everybody knows that. The media can kind of brush that to the side. That was the main story. And then you scroll down the pages, not even far, like one page past that, and it's boom. Allegri wants an attacking midfielder. And that's what his demands are, or a midfielder that has some attacking impulses. Like, it doesn't really need to be an attacking midfielder. That was what the reports were all suggesting. However, if you want an attacking midfielder, or more an attacking midfielder, then you need to kind of move quickly, because I think Samardzic is one of them. And I know Sudakov is on the thumbnail because he's being mentioned, but then you sit back and you're like, Samardzic is cheaper than Sudakov. And I'm not going to go into he's better or like he's much cheaper than Sudakov. If we're not going to go for Samardzic, who played in Serie A, all those things, why would we be going for Sudakov now? That's the only big question mark I have, because I would love to sign Sudakov. I think the club is interested in him, but if we're passing on Samardzic, who is there to be gotten, why would we then go for Sudakov, who is not easy to get? Udinese are very open to let Samardzic go for a fair price. Is Shakhtar very open to let Sudakov go for a fair price? That's not what the reports are suggesting. So the news reports are very conflicting in that way. The only thing that's consistent throughout all the newspapers is that Allegri wants a player with more attacking impulses, because even Sky Italia was suggesting yesterday evening that now Allegri doesn't even want Højbjerg, and I think that was very obvious. If you don't want Phillips, then you don't want Højbjerg, because it's not that age and injuries. Okay, fair. However, like the playing style, it's not that you're gonna get N'Golo Kante, or you're gonna get, I don't know. I'm just blanking it out, but you know what I mean. Like, you're not gonna go like between Højbjerg and Phillips. You're not gonna go from N'Golo Kante to Paul Pogba box to box. Like, you're not gonna get that. So that report was already weird to begin with, the Højbjerg one and the Phillips one. But that rumor kind of died already. Like, it popped up last week big time, and you were like, okay, something is brewing again, but now it kind of died again. And is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I think it's a good thing that we're not looking at those type of players if we're going to bring someone in. But it's also not a good thing, because all names are being crossed off the board. Then Di Marzio comes out saying that Nicolucci, or like that Sanitana wants to bring in Nicolucci. Now, at that point, if you let Nicolucci go, then you definitely need to sign a player. And my fear is they will let Nicolucci go, and then we'll just bring in a backup, Phillips or Højbjerg, to rotate with Locatelli. And at that point, I'm very confused, because Locatelli, when fit, is going to start. If he's not fit and he's suspended, you play Nicolucci. Like, it's going to happen on Sunday, away to Sanitana, because Locatelli is suspended. I don't think we need to push any money, the very little money we have, to players that long-term are not going to improve the starting 11. Like, backup is good, but I think we have issues with the starting 11. I still think, and I know it's a good feel factor, and maybe a lot of people do not want to have that conversation, but that starting 11 is not good enough, And if you're going to move formation, like setup-wise, the problems are going to get even worse, in my opinion, because at the end of the day, if I look at this team, like let's say 2016, 17, you want to be back at this peak. How many players? Let me know in the chat. How many players that's in the usual 11 will be starting for this team. And the usual 11 being Chesney, Gatti, Danilo, Bremer, let's say Wea, McKennie, Locatelli, Rabiot, Kostic, Vlahovic, Chiesa. That's the usual 11. How many of these players will be starting if you want to get back to the level of 2016 and 17? And I know it's not going to happen from now until next season that we will get back to that level. But I'm just saying, if you want to do that, you need to start signing players that get back into that first team rather than signing backup rotation players, because I think we have backup rotation players now. Bremer, Vlahovic, Chiesa at maximum a stretch, if you look back at that team, that could potentially be true. Some might say not even Vlahovic. But if you look at this starting 11 compared to when we were dominating, the quality is off big time. It is off, despite the moment we're having now, the good moment, compared to 2016 and 2015 and whatever, the quality is off. So that's all I'm saying. We need to bring in starting quality, and then we can look back at potentially bringing in backups. Because backups, I think players that are starting now could be potentially good backups, if that makes any sense. We need to have quality, and I don't think Højbjerg is gonna have that quality. I don't think he's gonna change what we are already missing in this starting 11 right now. But that's news that's out there now. No signings, because Yildiz is a signing, but that means he's gonna need to change formation. So I will just scrap that one, and then attacking impulses signing wise. I was looking into stats, by the way, and I forgot the numbers of the stat. And I will try to look it up again, and I will tweet it out. But Rabiot, and this might sound crazy, but based on stats, and with stats I mean attacking input into the team, he's doing better now compared to last season at the same point of the season. I think that shocked me because I was playing around with some stats and I was looking it up, and I will look it up again, the numbers, because I didn't save it. My bad, because I was shocked. But compared to last season, at the same point, so January the 2nd, he's having how do you want to say that? He's having more of an impact moving forward, attacking wise, not goals wise, but potential danger creations, key passes, forward passes, all those things. He's having a better season, and I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked because I'm not seeing that this season. So in this case, stats could be useful. I haven't seen it this season. I jinxed him into scoring against Roma, but if you just look at the eye test, I think we can all agree that what's playing out there, attacking wise, is not good enough. And also, how do you want to say that? On the ball, and it's basic stuff as playing a ball first touch or two touches. If you look at Rabiot, he tends to hold on to the ball long. McKennie, same thing, and that's not, I don't want to say that a bad thing. That's who they are as players. But however, I think it doesn't help what's up there up front. It really doesn't help. If you look at Yildiz, he drops in big time and he does well, but he's composed. He can kind of slow down play a little bit. When he feels that I need to get the pace out of this one because I'm solo, or I'm just not gonna make it on my own here, or I cannot play that pass to Vlahovic because it's too much. That's all good. However, when Chiesa and Vlahovic is up top there, at times I personally have a feeling that it takes too long before we get them the ball, and when we get them the ball, it's most of the time when players are back, players of the opposing team are already back in position. We tried to kind of get away from that last season. It worked in moments, but overall, it didn't really work. Remember, if you think back of the second part of the season with Di Maria, how deep, the Sevilla game. That Sevilla game away from home was sad to watch Di Maria because he was picking up the ball in our own in our own 16 at times, but also on our own half, you know. And he was like 36, or how old is he? He didn't had the capacity to drive that ball up there anymore. And you can say Chiesa has that, whatever, but it's not coming off at this moment in time. So it's gonna be interesting what Allegri's gonna do be all this. But like a lot of people are saying, like you cannot ignore the fact now that he's good enough to start. You cannot shy away from it now. Like you cannot not play Yildiz anymore or give him minimal minutes, because that's just gonna come off really bad and weird at this moment in time. Kenan is really impressive, and I feel that he has to start most of the games now. Yeah, but that means you're gonna bench Chiesa, and we know that's just not gonna happen. Nonge's debut, we will, you know, potentially. Let's see if he has his debut on Thursday. We will see about that. Dybala 30 million release clause, not for Italian clubs, I think it was, but it's still irrelevant for us. We're not gonna get Dybala back. Rabiot's playing great overall. I don't have that feeling. I think he's having good moments and good games, but overall, I don't know. I think at times he's very anonymous. Like at that Roma game, that first half, he was bad. Like he was extremely anonymous, and he wasn't good. Then he pops up with a goal, and his confidence grows. But up to that goal, he was doing absolutely nothing. You need to be realistic with that. And I don't want to judge Rabiot on goals, if that makes sense. Nor McKennie, because like the way we play this season, I don't think that's the way we should be judging them on. However, up to that goal, Rabiot was kind of struggling. If you haven't liked the video, like the video. 24. So I'm gonna set a goal every single video. I'm gonna be very annoying with that. I want at least 20. No, I want at least 35 likes on this video. No, 40 likes. Who's watching now, and a lot of people who rewatch it. I want 40 likes on this video. So like the video. It's 1 second, and it does help me out and the channel massively. Sudakov news. I talked about it in my daily. That's gonna drop tomorrow morning, by the way. But the news on Sudakov is kind of the same in a nutshell. The club wants him, and that's it. Like that's basically the news on Sudakov. The club wants him, but there's no real. Yes, they inquired about him, but like nothing is moving. If you want Sudakov, and you made that decision, and you can say, okay, we have the money to do that, then you should be pushing for it. Maybe they're waiting on who's gonna leave. You know, Hans potentially on loan to Sanitana, and maybe they will act on that. You know, maybe they will move away from Sudakov. Maybe Junior will leave. I don't know, and then they will act on it. However, the news on signings is kind of the same. They're interested in, I don't know, 30 players. I'm just saying something. However, not once is the news suggesting they're really going to push for it. There's always initial talks, and it's early. I don't think it's early. I think January, you need to have your goals. Like that's the player we want, and that's what we go from January the 1st. That's how I see the January transfer window, because we play games. It's not the summer. It starts June, and you have until August before we kick off the season. The season is kicking off. We're playing twice this week. If you want a player, you should have locked them up, or like locked them up on paper. That's the player we want, and now we're gonna go for him January the 1st. So yesterday, we're gonna start talks. We want Sudakov, or we want Samardzich, or we want Phillips, Hoiberg, name it, whatever. However, that's not really happening if you're just going off that of the news, and it's a bit worrying. It's a bit worrying. If we switch to a 4-3-3, we need two good fullbacks. We have none. Do you suggest a 3-4-3? 3-4-3, excuse me. I agree. We don't have the fullbacks to play that formation. I fully agree with that. Do you suggest a 3-4-3? It's going to be a 3-4-1-2 then. Potentially, that could be an idea, but I really, really struggle to see that happening. Who are you going to play in that four? Because I've seen potential 3-4-3s, and I've seen McKennie on the left, and I've seen Locatelli, Rabiot, and Kostic on the right. Like, I don't know. It feels like it's just too much for Allegri to change mid-season, considering how things are going now. I really, really struggle to see it happening. I really do. But if you want to play Yildiz alongside the other two, you need to change formation. Thoughts on Lukman and Pavlovic, excuse me. I didn't mention it in my daily because I don't believe them. Maybe the Pavlovic, but it's still iffy. I don't believe the Lukman links at all. And also with Atalanta players, I'm extremely skeptical because which Atalanta players left Atalanta and played great. No, in the first half in Rome, he was great and he was always covering the left side. He was doing shadow work. Nah, he wasn't good. I'm sorry. Thank you. Rabiot was not good in that first half against Roma. If that's good, then sorry, we have an issue. He wasn't good. In the second half, and forget about the goal, he was good. He was defensively very good. He was. But in that first half, I don't think he was good. He misplaced a few passes. He lost his man a few times. He wasn't that good. The second half was much, much, much better. Maybe the goal boosted his confidence, but in the first half, no, that wasn't good. And I don't want to say that's good because if that's good long term, it will be an issue. It will be an issue. Against Monza, he wasn't good as well. He had that winning assist, but he wasn't good all day. He wasn't good. Do you think Toni Kroos would fit in this Juve team? Every top world-class player would at this point. Have you looked at our midfield? Yes, there's a good moment. We are in a good moment, but if you need to tell, how many clubs? Let's just be honest. How many clubs would take Locatelli? Let's say 40 million for Locatelli. McKennie, maybe Rabiot because he's a free agent. How many clubs will come in and pay money for these players? Good clubs that want to compete, by the way, not Leeds and whatever you want to call it. Probably a few. You need to be honest with that. That's what I've been saying with, if you want to sign players, I think it need to be players to come into the first team, and these players potentially can be backup or rotation players, but in the first team we already need qualities. Somebody said fullbacks. Defensively, yes, Bremer, Gatti, I still think we can improve. I love Gatti, but I still think you can improve over Gatti, if that makes any sense. I know we have bigger issues at this moment in time, but I'm just generally speaking, fullbacks, obviously, midfield 100%. So that starting 11 can be improved, and that should be the first thought. Even in January, that should be, if we play once a week, I don't think cover should be the main idea. The only thing that can happen and that can make you say we need cover is somebody ruptures his ACL. Knock on wood, it doesn't happen, but then okay, cover. But playing once a week, and nobody's gonna go into the transfer window and be like, maybe somebody's gonna have an Achilles issue or whatever, so we're gonna sign cover. And that's just a fluke, and you need to deal with that somehow. But you can never prepare on that. But quality is what we need in midfield, in my opinion. Our midfield can show their quality, even if it's not world class, with our play style. If we have 75% possession every game and dominate the middle, we would have a total different outlook. I still disagree on that. I think the quality in that midfield is the max. McKennie is playing at his max. His work rate is amazing and I appreciate it, but he's very limited as a football quality-wise. It's as simple as that. You're McKennie on the ball is not gonna get better than this. He's very limited. No matter the playing style, he is just a very limited footballer. He is. Locatelli playing that formation, it's gonna be like that. If you want to have those passes he played at Sassuolo or even at the Euros with Italy, he's gonna move up a little bit. I didn't skip your comment. But the midfield that's playing now, no matter the playing style, they have limitations, and I don't think that's going to change. They're part of why we play this style of football. We need that's just what it is. Yeah, he was better in the second half, so that's that. But yeah, let's see what will happen in the transfer window. You might say it's early. It is early. It only opened today, basically. However, I was expecting already like some key news, basically, because we play through January, so things need to move quickly and fast. However, that's not the case, so we need to see how things will evolve in the next couple of days. But yeah, half an hour. I'm gonna wrap this one up. First live of the year. If you haven't liked the video, like. The goal is 50 likes for this video, so please like the video now. If you're rewatching it, also like the video as always, and I will be back with pre-game stuff, because we play on Thursday, with pre-game stuff tomorrow as well, so stay tuned for that for sure. Match preview, daily news, all those things. And Sunday again, Salernitana. I think that's very important as well. But like the Coppa Italia, you know, we need to go for it. Inter are out with it, Napoli are out of it, Milan are probably still winning. I don't know, are they winning against Cagliari? Let me check. Oh, 4-1 they won, so Milan are still in it. But yeah, we need to go for the Coppa Italia. I think that's very obvious. You think we can play 3-4-1-2 with Keane on the 10 Kies and Vlahovic up front? I don't know. Like, we could. You can try it out. You can try it out in certain games, certain moments. I don't think he's gonna do that from minute one in a certain game. That's all I think. We could potentially, because I think we have. It's like quality-wise, that midfield is not going to be fantastic, because I think he's going to switch. I think he's going to play Kostic and McKennie then, but it's never going to really going to be a 3-4-1-2 as you had it potentially in mind, and that's just because of the players we have. So it's a tricky one to get Yildiz in this setup permanently, but let's see how Allegri will try to fix that one. I think he's just going to interchange with Chiesa on the bench here and there. That's what I think is going to happen. Yeah, maybe we will see something different for the Coppa Italia formation. So let's see how that will go. If we sign Sudakov over another number 10, then it would make more sense. I think if we sign Sudakov, he will replace a player like McKennie. And that might sound crazy, but I don't think we're really going to change formation. I think what Allegri is going to change is pure individual quality. That's what I believe at this moment in time mid-season. But let's see how that will go. At this moment in time, go off the principle, we're probably not going to sign anyone if you need to believe the news. So that's that. Now I'm really going to wrap it up. So like the video if you haven't. Like it if you're rewatching it. Thanks for joining. Happy New Year to everybody still. He can play 8 as well, Sudakov. He is more of a 10, but like I said, mid-season, I don't think Allegri's going to change it. I really don't. I just don't, like, that's what I think. I don't think he's going to do it. I can be completely wrong, and it would make more sense, 100%, but that's not the feeling I have. This team is dying with a playmaker. Yeah, that's 100% sure. Like, that's very, very obvious, 100% obvious. I've never seen playing this guy, Sudakov. I've never seen him play. He's good. Like, if you look up his numbers, you're not going to get blown away. However, he plays very good. I think the numbers will come. I think he has all the qualities to back that up in terms of numbers very soon. So that's that. Now we're really gonna wrap it up. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll be back live. What is it? So we play Thursday. I will be back live, not Friday. I will be back live Saturday. So stay tuned for that. And then throughout the week, all the usual stuff. Also 24, I have different content planned. So stay tuned for that. It's gonna be more fun. Thanks for watching.